Hey everybody! Today we're going to talk about graffiti. No, I don't mean the spray paint on the side of a building. I mean Maybelline's The Graffiti Nudes. Now yes, I think Maybelline's having a little bit of an identity crisis because last time I checked, these brights are nowhere near what nudes are. To be fair, I did feel the same way when they put out other collection like the rock nudes and the brights. That being said, of all the collections they've put out so far, this had to be one of my favorites. Why do I say that considering this is obviously not a nude palette? I say that because when I swatched this up, this palette performed so phenomenal. Honestly felt like I was swatching up much higher end than drugstore. Very, very surprised. So I've swatched these all up for you guys, and we're going to start with the top row. In the top row, we see a wide range of colors. It seems like these are arranged in no rhyme or reason. The first shade is a very light pale shade. This is perfect for highlighting under the brow and also in the inner corner of the eye. The second shade that we have is a sheerish purple. Now I feel like this shade is great for an all over the eyelid shade. I think that it was intentionally made not too super opaque for that very reason. You can't have all shades be super bold, super bright, and expect them all to work perfectly together. This is a symphony, not a solo. The next shade we have is a true black. While this isn't the most amazing black I've ever seen, it performed quite well for this palette, and if you use it over primer, it blows it out of the park, and it's great for lining. So, the fourth shade is a periwinkle blue that has a slight silver shimmer. This is another shade that's a great wash of color over the entire lid. Use this shade moist or over primer for a more pigmented finish. The fifth shade in the top row was one of my favorites in that it's a taupey metallic shade that really helps to offset the brighter colors. Use this shade in the crease and you can have a pop of color on the lid and it really pulls the whole look together. The last shade in the top row was another one of my favorites from this palette. This is one of those shifting duochrome shades that we do not normally see in the drugstore. It looks green in the pan but a brownish base. This is one of those magical shades that you can wear on its own and it'll look like you're wearing two different shadows. You can pair this with browns, blacks, gold. This is one of those shades that is perfect for fall. Now, when we start out the second row, the bottom row, we start off with another highlight-like shade, and this is a soft mauvey pink. It has very fine silver glitter in it. It is somewhat sheer. The second shade is a super bright hot pink. As you saw, this was a little bit crumbly, so do have a soft hand when you apply this. Maybe use a little bit denser brush, maybe apply the sweat. The shade can be applied opaque for a more brighter, edgy look, or can be sheared out for a softer, girly look. The third shade in the second row is a golden highlight. Honestly, I applied this to my cheeks when I first used it because it worked well as a cheek highlight. That being said, it's another great highlight shade for under the brow or in the inner corner of the eye. I also liked applying this over the darker shades. Apply this with my finger gently to the center of the lid to add a little bit of highlight. The fourth shade was another one of my favorites from this palette, and this is a super bright metallic blue with silver shimmer. It's another shade we don't normally see in the drugstore, and it applied very smoothly and very velvety. The second to last shade in the bottom row was another highlighty shade. This was a little bit more bronze than the third shade, and this is another great shade that you can use on your cheeks or just to highlight with your finger in the center of your lid when you're using a darker color. I thought that this one applied really nicely over that green shade I mentioned from the top row. The last shade is a very smooth pearlescent shade. It's a very soft everyday shade. This one pairs with nearly every bright shade in the palette. Overall, I thought the Graffiti Nudes palette delivered much more than just brights. You had your everyday nudes with a kick, also paired with your bright shades that you don't normally see in the drugstore. I felt that these shades performed really well overall. They were smooth, easy to blend, velvety. I didn't find them too chalky. Like, I know that a lot of you said that the rock nudes were kind of chalky. These were not chalky at all. The only shade that gave me a big problem in terms of application was the pink shade. It was a little bit crumbly, but overall the rest of them performed pretty well. You can use fluffy brush or dense brush with these, depending on what you want to do with them. Use a fluffy brush for more sheer application and a dense brush for more opaque application. The shimmery shades, they are going to give you fallout unless you're patting them onto a sticky base, so use a primer with those. Use a setting spray or a moist brush. In terms of wear time, I got about 6 to 7 hours on their own and a bit longer, up to 10 hours when used over base or used moist. They do tend to last longer. I thought that this shade range was amazing. I loved it, and I would love to see more products like this from Maybelline. I like that they're getting a little bit edgier with their brand. So guys, what did you think about the Maybelline Graffiti Nudes? Have you picked it up? If you haven't picked it up, let me know why. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm Recycled Stardust.